everyone. So I am probably going to do a series of incense videos for you guys. I have been kind of an incense collector for a long time. I also make my own incense. I make several different kinds, both powdered, like this, and I also make kifi, which is an Egyptian form of incense made with honey and raisins and other crushed fruit. And so I have collected lots of different incense, and I use a lot of incense. And so I thought it might be useful for you guys to see the different kinds of incense and see how they're used, see how I use them. And so I guess we will start with joss sticks. This is probably one of the most popular kinds. I think most people have this, and they're really, really easy to find. This one is a Sandalwood Mysore sandalwood. Mysore is it's basically the heartwood of the sandalwood tree. So it's kind of a very specialty kind of item, and you do have to be very careful with where you get your sandalwood from. Most of these are not actually sandalwood. These are primarily masala dips. Masala basically means mixed. So it's a lot of different herbs and spices mixed together and then put on the stick. And then they are dried out and dipped. So a lot of times it'll be like just wood shavings, and then they'll dip it in a perfume. This one is very much a dipped incense. It is very pungent. The odor is very sharp. Even when it's burnt, like I burned one probably about 5 or 6 hours ago, and you can still really smell it lingering in the air. They can be a little bit acrid, and that can be a little bit problematic for people who are very sensitive to scent or have issues with perfumes or have breathing issues. So this is one of my favorite ones. This is also Mysore. It is a very nice, pure sandalwood scent. I really like this one. I assume that it also is dipped because sandalwood is very, very expensive and very hard to come by because it is endangered. Sorry, I'm all tangled up. And so most of these are going to be dipped. This is Zodiac one. That's a very popular one. Lots of people have that. Champa flower, which smells really lovely. This is probably also a dipped one. There are masala blends that are not dipped. So, for instance, Triloka is a really good brand, and they generally do not dip their incense into oils or into perfumes. It's generally very natural. If they do dip them, then they dip them in essential oil rather than like synthetic fragrances, so that's really nice. This is a better option if you want to have something a little bit more natural. And so how most people use their joss sticks is simply by getting one out and lighting it. I'm going to use my little bowl right here. And I have a whole bunch of incense sensors, and we'll probably go over those in a different video. But one of my favorite methods is just really simple. Have a bowl of salt. And let that catch just a little bit. Blow it out when you see the tip is lit. And then just place it into the salt or the sand, or your incense burner. Different kind. And so I like these depending on the scent, and of course depending on how potent the fragrance oil they used. They last a really long time. They do some really nice things like retain their fragrance, and they burn for a pretty good length of time, about I would say 10 to 15 minutes on average. Maybe if you're in a more humid climate, then it'll last longer, maybe like 20 minutes or so. But it's nice because then you can, work on meditation. You can have something that's not a timer that's going to come and like disrupt you and disrupt your mind when you're trying to do work. And it's just a really easy way to see where you're at and how long you've been working and how long you have to continue working. They're also really nice for prayers. I like to give them in offerings. I'll do maybe one a day. I have plenty, as you can see. And this is not the entirety of my collection. But yeah, I guess that's all I have for you for joss sticks, and I'll move on to the next kind.